This is FinTech Futures at Money20 Europe, and I'm joined by Melinda Roylett of Lloyds Bank Merchant Services. Melinda, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us. How are you enjoying the conference so far?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. No, it's really great to be here. Always good to be in Amsterdam. I did an exchange program here as a student back in the day, so it's just nice to be back in Amsterdam and see all the bikes and canals and be back in the city. Money20 is also always a fantastic event. I've worked at PayPal and Square and a few other places, so lots of running up to stands and seeing where people are and lots of hugs, in amongst all the business. So yeah, no, it's good.
Excellent, sounds great. Well, just to get started, would you like to quickly give us an introduction to yourself then and your role at Lloyds Bank?
Yeah, so I'm Melinda, and working at Lloyds Banking Group. I'm predominantly based in the UK. I look after merchant services, and so in three kind of easy ways. That's firstly online payments, in-person payments, which is still a big part of our business, and we're increasingly working to embed payments into merchant checkout pages. So embedded finance, it's called. So yeah, building our installment products for consumers that merchants can provide to their customers.
So I guess to start off then, how would you say the payment space has evolved in recent years, and how tough is it for merchants to keep up with shifting consumer demands and technological advancements?
Yeah, well, I think it's evolving, quite a lot. As technology evolves, payments, is also evolving quite a bit, and I think the adoption curve for new technologies is, really, escalating quite quickly. Where credit cards have been the predominant, way to pay, the physical card, since the 1960s. Now I think, it's almost, getting over the 50% of payments in the UK, via a point of sale made by a contactless, right? Or, mobile phones. So, so things are just radically changed quite quickly. And the consumer is more quickly adopting new technology. You see things like soft POS around. So I was in Hackney recently around Broadway Market in London, for those of you who know London. And, for the first time, I saw some merchants offering soft POS on their phone. I had a bit of a chat to some of the merchants, and they were like, yeah, all the consumers are like, oh, wow, that's new. But they're not afraid to use it. They just say jump in. And so it's about all these payment methods. The industry is becoming much more specialized. And so the software now, if you're a business that does veterinary software or hairdressing, you have your own software. So all that, complexity, is increasingly being put on merchants to try to figure all this out, and how do they provide that to their merchants, which is what we hear at Lloyds.
Excellent. Yeah, I guess on that front, you've touched on a couple of things there, but what are the big trends you're seeing from your SME customers in terms of the products and services they come to speak to you about?
Yeah, well, they're increasingly wanting, something that makes all of this really easy. And so, how do I offer all the payment wallets, so if it's Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, various payment types, if it's the buy now, pay laters, embedded finance. How do we, offer, payments in store and on our website? How do we manage inventory, between all the different channels that we serve? If you're a restaurant hospitality, how do I, get bookings that come online and reconcile those within the real world? So it's all these different things that a merchant, regardless of the sector, it's always a similar complexity, different versions of that needs to manage. And so that's why at Lloyds we're increasingly brought in. It's really understanding the merchant's business, and okay, you will need this software or that payment provider, this wallet, and merchants are just looking for people to try to make that easy for them.
And how are SMEs adapting their payment strategies ahead of PSD3 as well?
Yeah, well, PSD3, a lot of it is around, open banking and, the EU's desire to make that more easy and simple, which is fantastic. At Lloyds, we're a bank, so, we're very much behind open banking and its adoption. And so, we're really helping our merchant customers understand open banking. We have that service at Lloyds, and, as we're speaking to them about take cards, take open banking payments, take wallet payments, take payments in store and on the phone and, online. And so, we're really helping merchants just think through open banking, more so in the context of that directive.
Sounds great. And the last month, the UK government unveiled new legislation to establish consistent standards for BNPL to bring it in line with other credit products. What's your take on that, and what does this regulatory push mean for merchants, banks and consumers as well?
Well, firstly, I think it reflects the increasing adoption of buy now, pay later. I think it was for a long time the province of very young. It was a millennial trend, and I think now as the millennials have grown up, it's definitely becoming more mainstream. And so as something's in because of that, like the regulator has seen fit to bring it within their regime. So from a Lloyds perspective, we think that is best for the customer and best for the industry. Creates a more level playing field, and I think we're always in favour of regulation that's in the interest of the customer. In Australia, actually, I used to work at Afterpay, and it was really good to have a regulatory regime around it. It's created certainty from players in the market, and I think that will be great here in the UK.
Excellent. Sounds good. And what trends are you seeing around BNPL, both from a consumer and a merchant perspective? And do you expect its popularity to continue to rise as we go forward?
Yeah, well, I think people want to pay for things like in installments. So I think it just works easier with how people were all paid, monthly or every fortnightly, and so being able to have that flexibility to match the income to the payments is really important. So I definitely think it's here to stay. I think people, the credit card model, definitely serves its purpose, but people might not want to. They might just want to buy something or take out a whole loan or have the exposure for thousands of pounds, I should say. And so, it just creates a lot more flexibility. We're seeing more buy now, pay later usage, as I said before, in older cohorts of customers with different demographics of customers. So I think one of the fastest growing demographics for buy now, pay later is the over 75,000 a year pounds demographic of income earners in the UK. We're seeing it just be more ubiquitous in the basket of financing methods for a family or a household. Of buy now, pay later is increasingly featuring there. And in response, merchants are saying, we have to. It's kind of gone to table stakes now in our checkout.
Excellent. And just to finish off there, what does the future look like to you in terms of the payment space now, and what other merchant payment options do you think will pick up traction as we move forward?
Yeah, so obviously for us, the embedded finance, buy now, pay later type product is we see that as a great opportunity for Lloyds to get into that space. So we launched our version, Black Horse Flex Pay, which really bringing the best of the bank and the trust of the bank, to that segment, which we're seeing a lot of excitement around and reception from merchants. In terms of future payment methods, I think definitely soft POS is very interesting. And if my Hackney neighbourhood is anything to go by, we're going to see that grow more and more. I think the continued contactless, very much becoming the norm, as that continues, omnichannel payments. And then, I should really talk about AI. I'm probably the only person who spoke about it in the last minute, but AI payments, assisted payments and commerce, will become a big thing. And I think that's quite exciting. There's a lot that needs to be navigated carefully, but you could think of AI generated payment plans, right? Instead of having something structured in a very rigorous way, you could program the AI to be like, okay, I'm going on a holiday this month, I'm staying at home this month, and then how do you create something bespoke for you, using that information. So I think it's definitely a lot of things will mean payments are more tailored, even more so than they are today to consumers and I think that's all really exciting.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much again, Melinda, for taking the time out to speak for us today. It's been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.